Sauron, the eponymous Lord of the Rings, was the greatest maker of the One Ring, renowned student of the Valar, and most trusted lieutenant of Morgoth in the First Age. After Morgoth's ousting by the Valar, Sauron became the second Dark Lord and sought to conquer Middle-earth through trickery with the Rings of Power, or with overwhelming legions. At the end of the Second Age, Sauron caused the downfall of Númenor, and was then defeated in Mordor in the War of the Last Alliance of elves and men, united under Gil-galad and Elendil. In the final battle, Isildur managed to cut the One Ring from him, dismantling his corporal form and ridding much of his power. After centuries lying dormant, rebuilding strength and stirring awake evil things, Sauron returns to power late in the Third Age. In the First Age, the Noldor elves left the blessed realm of Valinor in the utter west against the Council of the Valar, in order to wage war on Melkor, whom they renamed Morgoth, following his theft of the Silmarils of Fëanor. In that war, Sauron was counted as the greatest of Morgoth's servants that have names, and was soon feared as a lord of phantoms and dreadful beasts, a shapeshifter, a sorcerer, and cunning servant of his master. After Morgoth's defeat, Sauron lay dormant for 5 centuries. Sauron began revealing himself once more, and by the year 1000 had gathered power and established himself in the land of Mordor. Sauron began building the dreaded Barad-dûr near Mount Doom. Soon after, massive armies of orcs, trolls, and other creatures from the days of Morgoth were raised, and Sauron corrupted the hearts of certain nations of men, such as the Easterlings and Haradrim, with delusions of power and wealth. Although Sauron knew that men were easier to sway, he sought to bring the elves into his service, as they were far more powerful. He befriended the elf-smiths, including Celebrimbor, greatest of craftsmen, as he was descended from Fëanor, and counselled them in arts and magic. To the elves who listened, Sauron gave knowledge and encouragement in forging the Rings of Power, while he forged the One Ring in secret, to rule the elvish rings. Upon that ring Sauron wrote, "One ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them." However, as soon as Sauron put on the ring, the elves sensed his treachery, and removed their rings and hid them. Enraged, Sauron came against them in open war, and demanded that all Rings of Power be given to him. The elves managed to hide the 3 greatest of the rings from him, but the other 16 Rings of Power were either captured by Sauron, destroyed, or lost. To the dwarfs he had given 7, but to men he had given 9, knowing that they would be the easiest to corrupt. The dwarf lords who received the rings proved to be very resistant to their power, and neither feared nor became enslaved to Sauron's will. The rings, however, created in them a lust for gold, which ultimately caused a great deal of grief for the dwarfs. They saw Sauron's power was growing, so Elendil created the last alliance of elves and men, and together they marched across Middle-earth to attack Sauron. They defeated his armies in the Battle of Dor-galad, and then invaded Mordor and laid siege to Barad-dûr for 7 years. Finally, Sauron himself came forth and duelled them both, Elendil and Gil-galad, slaying them both single-handedly. However, he himself was overthrown in the process. Then Isildur, son of Elendil, took up his father's broken sword, Narsil, and used it to cut the One Ring from Sauron's finger. While Sauron's physical body was destroyed, his spirit endured and fled, but his campaign to defeat the 3 peoples had seemingly failed, with his greatest weapon having been taken from him. This was the Dragon King. Thank you very much for watching.